Que la que hay, mi gente? Espero que todo bien wherever you are. Regreso de toro, ven aquí, mami, canta el coro, come rábaro, llámame rico, parece bien, mami, tu niño, mijo. All right, rico.t.toro. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time, channel based on real life experiences and personal observations. So, hope everybody's well, wherever they are. So, today it seemed like the storm day. Just woke up shortly after. Started raining. I don't know if this was like some quick Dominican pre-damage control or not, but like one of the people that helps maintain the property. This guy, I'm standing on my balcony having my coffee, and this dude comes in and he quickly throws like a couple of picnic tables and the lawn chairs right into the pool. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that'll keep them secure. You know, I'm used to these kind of storms a little bit, or at least the threat of them, because I was in Florida for 6 years before here, but I was in Orlando, so that's why I say I'm used to them, but mainly the threat. But you know, they will tie stuff down or secure it or put it in the shed. But so, anyways, esto lo que hay. You know, así es. Another way of saying it is what it is. So, anyways, rained most of the day, and I think whatever was going to hit through this area happened already. As has been said before, the North Coast typically doesn't get hit. The last time the North Coast was hit by a hurricane or something major, I think it was like 1955 or something. I'm older than many of y'all, so, but that was still before my time, all right? So, anyways, you know, that's what it is. So if you guys haven't heard already, there is some form of a COVID test required now. You're supposed to get that 5 days before arriving to the Dominican Republic, and you should you know, no, I don't think anybody quite knows yet whether they're going to try to be checking everybody for that little piece of paper, the clean bill of health paper or whatever, upon arrival. But it probably behooves you to have that ready just in case. Otherwise, you might have to get tested at the airport, and you know, you don't want to come all the way here and then find out that you had a positive result and you were just asymptomatic, and then you know, happen to get sick and feel the symptoms while you're here, infect others, or being quarantined, etc. You just don't want to do all that, so you should just be prepared. But I'm sure, you know, as time goes on, the process will become a little bit more consistent and standardized against all the airports in Dominican Republic. And I don't claim to be a news reporter. I'm just giving you the basics that I'm aware of. So, anyways, decent amount of people still coming down, it seems. You know, and they're still having a great time, making the best of the situation, even with the toque de queda being at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Saturday, Sunday. Everybody's still making the best of that. So shout out to them. Shout out to my regular people for watching. Those that haven't, subscribe, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down. Ask some questions. I read all comments and usually answer them. And I will say this. Like me or hate me on camera, I will say this. The people that I've been fortunate enough to meet that have seen my videos, all of them will tell you that I'm a straight shooter, I'm humble, I'm approachable, and probably a pretty decent dude. We'll tell you that much. You know, so I appreciate the words of kindness that I get sometimes. And you know, also many people say, you know, they like how I keep it real, and to some that means I put myself out there too much. But then again, you know what? I don't have any enemies. And I don't have any enemies. You know, I choose my people carefully and I treat people respectfully. So I have nothing to hide from nothing to lose. And so that's a good kind of segue into what I'm going to talk about, moving the proper kind of way. And I'm going to touch on GFE too. You know, you guys know what that is, Novia Experiencia. So, GFE. Gonna get into that. But couple of tips, couple of things, Most of the time when we have bad experiences in paradise, it's your fault. Okay, not just yours, my fault too. It's our fault, usually. And there's a couple of reasons for that. That we get caught slipping sometimes. And I break balls sometimes when people get caught slipping, but I'm also very humble and open about when I get caught out there. Because you know what? Sometimes foreign country, it's a learning experience that never really ends. And it goes even with guys who've been here a long time. They could be here 15, 20 years, and next thing you know, they're buying a house or a business or getting a car accident. And all of a sudden, through all these different processes of life, they find that they were sadly mistaken on a few things that they had heard or thought they, advice they had gotten, etc. So, like I say, there's always a learning experience. So, one tip that, I'll give you guys one way to roll. I don't knock anybody's vices. I personally choose to not smoke or consume any illegal substances. That's just my preference. But if you do, don't get them from the first English-speaking moto concho that rolls your direction. Get them from a trusted expat or someone that you trust that comes down here frequently, that may have contacts. Personally, I typically don't deal with English-speaking Dominicans that do not have legit jobs or a legit hustle, taxi or regular taxi, or they work in a hotel, restaurant, my barber, etc. Or he doesn't speak English, but typically what I find is for whatever reason, the most trusted people that I have in my circle right now down here, as far as natives go, they don't speak any English. And they've never steered me wrong, never tried to sell me something I didn't need or want, never tried to introduce me to any bullshit, basically. And, so lean on, since most of you, don't speak Spanish or command it that well yet. I understand that. Lean on, other Americans or Europeans or other friends that may be a little more familiar with things here before you go that route. And then, I break my own rules all the time, except for that rule number one. Rule number one, y'all know what that is, fellas. Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love with a professional. Yeah, that one can be very costly, expensive, time consuming, and all that if you break that one. But the rules 2 through 378 or however many there are, those, the more you come, the more you learn, the more easily you can correct yourself. All right? Case in point, typically I don't let anybody choose me. I go to the supermarket and I look for the papitas that I like. So, one night I was walking home a while ago. This was probably a year ago. And to where I was staying at the time. I wasn't living here then. And, somebody approached me and like I say, I don't like that aggressive, fast talking street nonsense, baby, my friend, I don't like that. Usually I'm pretty quick and I'm pleasant. I'm just like, no gracias. No gracias. And I do got to get one of those shirts. I'm just like, no gracias, mano. No gracias, mami. Todo bien. No buscando para nadie ahora mismo. I'm not looking for nothing and nobody right now. So, well, one night, somebody approached me and I kind of liked her walk or something simple. And I'm like, all right. So I stopped for a minute. But then she started talking and just started making me laugh. She was funny, like she had personality, a little bit of, just something that just made me, seemed interesting, like, she just seemed fun and chill and kind of made me laugh. And the frame wasn't what I normally gravitate to, but I was kind of like a little bit intrigued. So I was like, okay, vámonos. So we start walking to the apartment. And when I come in the gate, that little light bulb goes off right here, right? Remember, I'm in violation of like a rule of mine. And so I say, have a seat. I sit her down by the pool and I ask her, what do you want? I got beer and I got rum. She opts for the beer and you know what I took. So I go in, fix us a drink, come out, we chop it up a little bit, just 5 minutes, if that. And basically I'm like, I'm basically trying to make her feel a little bit comfortable. Like, I'm an all right dude, but also like I'm the wrong one to mess with. I'm not stupid. Don't play me for nothing stupid. And, so it's like with that little bit of time or whatever. And, ended up being like, we had a nice time and things went smoothly. Had I just went like straight through the gate, broke my rule or whatever without thinking, who knows? It could have went off without a hitch as it did, or it could have like, bit me in the ass. But like I say, there's ways to move sometimes. And, so I could tell you a horror story, which I might at the end of this, about how I got caught slipping good. And then, I'm going to do that. I'm going to park that for now, though. But, I have 2 iPhones now, and one disappeared for just a minute, and I got it back. So I'm gonna tell you that drama. And I didn't have to spend no extra money, or use the iPhone, find my iPhone to get it. So that's the interesting thing. Maybe I'm gangster, I don't know. And the threat of me made it reappear. Nah, I'm just talking shit, but I'm gonna share that. But you know what though? Go into this GFE that I was gonna mention just a little bit. It's not about money. Not everything is about money here. Money is important because people do have to eat. They do have bills to pay. Like anywhere in the world. But it's not always money. Money, just throwing around money for something will not always guarantee you an extra service or a better service. For instance, like, if, this is a complaint that I've heard. I talk to papitas as well as other people here, and I listen to them sometimes. So I'm hearing sometime like one of the things that annoys like some is when some dude been at the beach, all day, and then like 16 hours later he's up in the club wearing the same funky tank top and shorts that he's been wearing at the beach all day, and tries to take somebody with him, and nasty ass don't even want to shower. He's like, meanwhile he's got expectations, or he'll be at the bar table the next day talking about what she didn't do right or didn't do, Meanwhile, the same dude is just thinking like, well, I threw like a bunch of bills down, so she should have did whatever I wanted, whatever. Nah, son, it don't work that way. Like, we're dealing with human beings. It don't always seem that way, but 90% are human beings, and you get what you get based on how you proceed. And so, yeah, maybe in some places like GFE is automatic, with just throwing a little cash down. But here, no, not so much. You got to finesse a little bit, and be on point with your hygiene, with everything else. And you should also be insisting that they are. That just, to me, it just makes better for both. And so that's one thing. So yeah, if you want a good situation, be considerate in that sense. Clean and clean, and we hope everything clean. Enough said on that. And then like another thing is like, guys like will have these long lists of details, like, well, if I can get this, I'll throw 200 extra pesos. Well, if I can get her to swing from a chandelier and take a mama on a shot, at the same time with no hands, then I'll give her extra for that or whatever. All this stuff, like, all this extra talk, all that does is send mixed signals and confuse them. Some of them are very bright, but they're focused on that. They're focused on whatever that math adds up to. They're focused on that top number, and all those little details and stuff in between. They get caught up in the moment. They might have had I don't know, they got other stress, family, kids, and other things going on in their life. So, keep it simple. Get that by just buying them an extra drink or trying to have a little bit of a conversation, and then try to go about the GFE. So it's there. It does exist in SOSUA. It's just that a lot of guys are missing the boat because they think it's automatic just based on money and don't use the finesse. And then on the flip side of that, you got guys now that are critiquing guys like, oh, you're kissing them? Oh, you're holding hands? I'm not really going to be kissing nobody in public or holding hands too much in public with most of my companions. And that's only because I'm here for the long term, and if they figure out on their own who and what I'm doing, so be it. But I'm not gonna advertise it or promote it. But if some dude wants to tongue somebody down or be, stroking hands, as they walk on the beach, so be it. That's his business. Like if that's what he enjoys, if that's enhancing his experience, so be it. Nothing wrong with that. Are we here to judge, or are we here to live and have fun? I've always been here to live and have fun. The only time I will judge is if someone is harming others. I don't even say judge. The only time I'm critical is if someone is harming others, or I think that they're about to get into like a really bad situation that I don't want to see them become a victim of something, really bad. That's the only time like I really pay attention, to how, or if somebody's just really being like, over the top, obnoxious and disrespectful. And that's another thing. If you that dude that's like overly obnoxious and disrespectful, like, at the big table at Omni or something, if you that dude, well, you just kind of put a target on your back from some of the surrounding papitas that may at some point you may be choosing them later, or they may come your way and you choose them. You just put a target on your back because she realized, like, you know what, this guy seems like, he just might be difficult to deal with. So if I am gonna go that route, he's gonna pay a premium, and so I mean, we get treated how we represent ourselves. I'm not saying like you got to sit in the corner quiet, I'm saying live your life, enjoy. We just have to be respectful. And if you do want something extra out of your experiences, a little finesse, little kindness, little charm, and just, consideration goes a long way. So, you know what, I'm gonna wrap this up with what I told you at the beginning, how I got caught slipping that time. And I'm embarrassed to really say this, but I think there's a lesson to be learned. Like I say, it's always a learning lesson. So, like 7 months or so, roughly. What is it? July? Oh, wow. Okay, 4 months ago, right before the quarantines, a little bit before that, because I know I went away to the States for a week before. So I had some friends down here visiting, and we're all out one night, and I'm toast. I'm smashed drunk. There's no sugarcoating it the way it is. I'm done for the day. I really should have been home a couple of hours before that, but I was just enjoying hanging out with some friends. So, I decided I'm done for the evening. I'm going to go get a good night's sleep, or somewhat of a sleep, after I'm done hanging out. Well, on the way out, we run into some people, and he's feeling one, and I'm just sort of playing along with the other one, just killing time, a little bit. And I'm just kind of, just for the hell of it, I'm like, mami, dame tu teléfono. So, not tonight. I'm gonna get her number for future reference. Well, meanwhile, the devil was like on my shoulder, and he's telling me, you can do some things with that. She looks like she might be like all the way live freak material. You could do some stuff with that, especially in this belligerent, drunken state that I had let myself get into. Like I say, a lot of things that happen there are fault, and this, being too drunk is one of the reasons. Just one of the reasons. So, anyways, the four of us catch a taxi, and I get dropped off with her. Like I said, I always decided to bring her anyways. We get dropped off. He walks toward his place. We come in here, and everything seemed kind of cool or whatever. And so we end up taking a little while, having some fun or whatever. And there was a line that I crossed, basically, considering that we had just met. I'm not gonna get all into that. Nobody needs to be that concerned, how I get mine. But nothing too crazy. Nothing most of y'all don't roll the dice and do every now and then. So, anyways, we shut down things, and she leaves. Well, I have two phones. One of them kind of stays in the safe most of the time. Should I lose the other one, I always have a way that I could VPN to my work computer, and that's what my, if work happens to call me, or I happen to call them, that's the number that they've always used and had. So, I'm just checking everything, I'm And I'm like, okay, the phone, all of a sudden, the one phone is still playing music. And the extra phone, it's like, okay, this is gone. It's not by the safe. So I look like in the living room table. It's not there. And I'm thinking, I must have left it out when I was listening to music, using it for music earlier. Sometimes I used to use one phone for music. So, talking 2 iPhone 11s. And so, I'm like, oh shit, I just got. But then, so I'm sober at this point, obviously. You sober up real quick. Stuff. So it's like 4 a.m. and I start to do the Find My Old iPhone app, which I've never used. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I got this girl's number. I got the number. So I just messaged her. And I'm like, bring me my phone back, please. I was cordial. I wasn't going to be a hothead, even though I could have easily been. I wasn't going to mess it up by seeming too out of control crazy, even though I had that right to be. I was just too drunk, too tired, just wanted to call it a night. So I'm like, bring me my phone back. Just bring me my phone back. I don't want any problems. I'll give you 5,000 pesos. You bring me my phone back. And she responds why she was upset and took it to begin with, and says, I'll be there in 5 minutes. So I grabbed 5,000 pesos out of the safe, because like I said, I just want the phone, just want this to go away. So I go out front, stand by the gate, and this car pulls up. It's tinted out. I couldn't see anybody in it, and plus, I don't see well anyways. Well, the passenger window comes down, and she's just reaching her arm out with the phone. And I just walk right up, take it out of her hand. I didn't snatch it, just take it out of her phone, and I'm basically like, gracias. And turn and walk off. She didn't say nothing about the 5,000 pesos. So this kind of tells me a couple of things could have happened. A, she's like, or somebody told her homegirl that she was with told her, an iPhone is easily trackable. Or B, this guy lives here, you will see each other again. Or C, the girl or somebody, maybe the person driving the car was from, when she told him the apartment, we're like, we know that guy, he's not a bad dude, just give him the phone back. Or D, which I doubt it, but, that dude's gangster, and he will cut you, and just leave you for nothing if you don't return that phone. But no, I'm exaggerating. I don't think it was that one. But anyways, that's just me being humble, admitting, I get caught slipping too. So I'm just trying to give you guys some advice every now and then, how to avoid certain pitfalls, and also how to enhance your experience to the best that you can. Tú sabes como la fiesta. Thanks for subscribing. Have a good night, y'all. Stay well.